In the quiet hum of Tesla's lab, the number 58 pulsed like a hidden frequency inside the vortex coils, a resonance born from precise mathematics rather than mysticism. It appeared as the 29th even number, the sum of the first 6 prime numbers, 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 11 plus 13, and a semi-prime, 229, linking it to factor symmetry. In atomic science, cerium holds atomic number 58, a rare earth element used in high-strength magnets and catalysts. In combinatorics, 58 is the maximum number of regions a circle can be divided into by 10 chords. In astronomy, Messy object M58 is a barred spiral galaxy in Virgo, spinning like Tesla's imagined energy vortices. In geometry, the pentadecagon's 58 diagonals map into golden ratio harmonics. In music theory, the 58th overtone aligns with high-frequency resonance close to Tesla's experimental coil range. In cryptography, base 58 encoding removes ambiguous characters, optimizing digital signal clarity. In physics, 58 appears in neutron counts of certain nickel isotopes used in Tesla-style high-frequency experiments. In all these domains, 58 is not superstition. It is a measurable, repeatable key embedded in the patterns of matter, motion, and code.
Welcome friends and traders. Today we are discussing the volume impact on markets. There are hidden numbers, the squared numbers, which converted into volume, sequence of volume. Remember, the narrative is sequence of volume numbers. So if I tell you number 29, 58, 85, 56, 107, 12. Now these, you need to understand where they're coming from. Once you discover an interesting phenomena of 29, 58, you will still be challenged to put the right squaring of volume numbers. Square, cube, sphere. So you take these numbers and you have to manipulate these numbers into squared mathematics. Once we have those right numbers, then you can move the market through volume lens and you can see the predictability and the vibration of Tesla through these numbers. What that means, once we hit these volume numbers, we are projecting market to turn around. If it is bullish, it should turn back. If it is bearish, it should start the upward movement again. Alright, so we'll just go through strong numbers. 8.56 is a very strong number, roughly 8.6. Now you don't know 8.6 of what. Now that is revealed later in the course for folks who are going through the journey of level 1, 2 and 3. We also introduced level 0 to just get you to start making money on trading so you can invest in your journey. Alright, so you heard 2.9 is a strong number. Let's watch from low. Now there are so many other frequencies, we are not going to get into those. I'm just going to talk about the big 2.9 volume right here. From low to high. Pivots to pivots. From here to here. Look at this 5.8. So from this top to bottom, 2.9. 2.14 is very critical for us. 2.14 is almost like 2.2, 2.14. Remember, also you will see 369. Remember, we are 369forecast.com for a reason, beyond belief. And here it is. So 4.5 is 9. All right. So from here, remember, finding the right points. Now we don't have any oscillations here. So if you want to qualify which pivot to start from, you can use some oscillator. We have 4 or 5 world's best oscillators. We can also look into value. The point is you can find which pivot to pick to start from, because if you don't start properly, there's also an idea of secondary pivots. For example, you may be tempted to go from here, but this might be much more powerful pivot. Now that is qualified through astro movement of the planets. Maybe in the next video we will discuss that. I think you guys are now mature traders, so you can I think consume this information. Okay, here we are, my friends and traders. Keep an eye on the Tesla. All right, so from here we're gonna go 2.9. All right, other things will work as well. I'm just making the point here that once we come with a philosophy, structural, naturally bound philosophies of vibrations, we stick with that and we prove it, right, by applying in the real market. So 2958 is a very strong number, as we just learned. Now we're putting it in use. So from here to here 2.9, from here to here 2.2. Watch these numbers. 2.2, keep watching. And 12.8, 17.12, 17.12. I think they are different frequencies. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you got the idea. So let's track the big numbers. Next, okay, so in 2020 the low came at 8.6 from low to low. Now what is 8.6? This is the fourth harmonics. This is the fourth harmonics of 2859 and the pi vibration. If you don't understand the basics, don't go through the course. It will be impossible for you to find out. For those who are ready, souls who are ready, they have an option. All right, so once you know the secrets, we can predict 200 years in advance, everything Gann did and beyond. But you need to understand how it works. And now this is the same principles, the laws applied on volume. All right, then 12.84. Well, here it is. Big numbers. 8.6, 12.84. Of what? Volume. Of what? 2958. How many of these you're stitching together in a square? That's the secret, my friends. That is the secret. All right, so let's look at this. You can do your research. It's not that you cannot find it. Well, how many years you want to spend on it? And what is the time value of your lost time? That's all it is. Research must go on. Even if you take these courses, research must go on. You're buying this research which doesn't exist anywhere else. Doesn't mean that you stop here. This is gonna shake your soul inside out, but you need to go on the journey. You may find things which no one is able to see. The universe is waiting for you to get engaged if your soul is ready. Okay, 8.56. 8.56 is right here. 8.56. Let's go. 8.56 is right here. Another one, big one. 12 is here. Now, if I go, I'm looking for. Let's see. Let's move this over, right? So this is how we are moving, from pivot to pivot. So if I go from here to here, I'm looking at 14.98, which is 15, right? I'm looking for all these big numbers. 12 is here, 12.8 will be somewhere out here, I guess. Let's check it out. Right here, 12.8. Pull back 50. As a trader, swing, pull back 50, 12.8. Now you can use an oscillator of Mercury, Venus, Mars, and you can see all these cycles showing up, and when the volume is there, wow. All right, my friends, let's keep going quickly. Now, as I said, 369, 3.3, 3.6, 9.3. Now remember, 0.9, there's no decimal in the universe, not in volume, not in price. Okay, so now I'm gonna go a little aggressive. Just wanted to make this point. Now you can see 3.3 here from top to bottom, 9.3, 3.6, top to top, 3.6, bottom to bottom, 3.3, top to bottom. Remember, 9, 3, 6, 9, 4.5 is also 9. All right. Okay, what is this? Okay, now there is a 4.28. I'm looking at 4.28. I'm looking for 6.42, and I'm looking for 369. All right, we already saw that. I'm looking for 8.5. All right, my friends, here it is, 5.8 flat. 5.8 is right here. 4.5 from here. This is 2025. The low came at 5.8 and 4.5. The power of 5.8 here. All right, the top, the bottom to top, from here, let's trace this. Where is it coming from? It's coming from here. 6.3. The top came at 6.3. All right, let's look at the secondary top. Now this is the time. This is the top. It just happened in July. Okay, this is where it is on this guy. Let's look at this cluster. A lot of numbers. Look at this. 1.8 is 9. From here to the top, trace it. 3.3, my friends. 369. 2.14. We're looking for here, right here. 2.14. Market is vibrating to this number 58 very aggressively. But you don't know 58 of what? 58 of square. How do you create a 58 square? If you understand this, the market is correct. And here we are, my friends, giving you that opportunity to understand this right here. 3.6. All right, from here 1.9. Here we can get this low also, right? So what we can do, what Gann was doing as well, he was doing squaring the planets. We are squaring with volume. We are squaring with so many things beyond Gann, because he was an astrologer. So are we. Astrophysics. You have to bind the physics and the astronomy and the volume and the vibration excuse me, and the geometry to all come together in harmonics. But behind the scenes, these are flowing in some higher circular mathematics. All right, so think about concentric circles. You may be looking at a circle, but if you go rotate the numbers in circle over and over and over, 8 circles down the line, you may see numbers you cannot see in the first circle. All right, so this is where, if you look into the 69forecast.com and go to Vortex, there are circles which, if you go beyond the current circle, the time, think about a clock, and you keep rotating and rotating and keep adding layers of concentric circles as these higher numbers start showing up. So let me tell you that we're using 4th dimension of 58. If you can decode that, hey, you can do this. All right, so we always give you some tips to research, not just leave you hanging. From here to here, my friends, came down at 4.5. Boom, bounced. All right, 6.3 is here, 1.6 Fibonacci. Now here is also, like, remember I told you, if the circle is 100, if 360 degrees is same as 100, and if you do modulus of some numbers, we can get rid of numbers on the left of the decimal, so leaving us with same thing as 1.6 is same as 0.6. Now if you can see this, we had this panic move, and then you can see the market is 0.6, 0.6, 0.6, 1.6. This is rotating on a low volume, right? You can just see this. Same number, same harmonics, from here to here 0.9. So it has gone into fraction because of whatever is going on. We can judge from that, right? What's going on. So ultimately, this low to low was 1.8 volume of the square. Here you can see 0.6. That means people have lost interest in going short the market. But at the same time, looking back in time, and we need to go back in time. This is where Gann squaring of the time of the price and the angles come into picture. You can rotate the planets through the squares of square root of 9, hexadecimal chart, right? Square root of 9 chart, 24 dimension chart. You can put planets there and rotate those planets as they hit the angular vibration of geometry. You will see some vibration. And that is what the square root of 9 is all about. All the ancient civilization for thousands of years have used that for construction of architectures. Alright my friends, so here from here to here 4.5, 5.8, very strong, low and 0.6, 3 strikes to call the bottom. We call the bottom based on the quarter point theory of from the ultimate low. You can watch that video on price. Now this is again catching things on volume basis. All right, and you can keep going on and on and on, but you can just see from top to top 1.9, top to bottom. Here this bottom 4.5 is 9. This is 0.9. 369 is showing in different ways. Now 58. All right, my friends. Let's see if we can do this. All right. If we go to 369forecast.com, www.369forecast.com. Again, you can do all of things here where we'll express these things slowly. All right. So what we want to go back to is right here. What did I say we are doing? We're doing something with 58 volume, and this is a square. Now, if you get really smart thinker, deep thinker, as you can see, market is rotating and doubling, right? This is a doubling circuit. Now, this picture needs to be fixed. 58. See that? 58, 58. What's going on here? We're doing something with 58 multipliers. 258, 258. See that? 258. Jumps of 3. 258. It comes down to this square. Now this is a simple square. This is with a free energy, freedom of, look at this moon. 9 by 9 grid, 369. So how can you use these numbers? How can you use these magical square numbers which construct what is 260? Very powerful number, 111, angelic numbers. So these numbers, if you run the planets through these numbers, I'm giving you hints, you will see amazing things happening in your forecasting capabilities. Right now we're just showing you this basic square of 58. Now you see this, how things come together. We are looking at the vibration of days, what day it is, right? If day is 8-1, so vibration could be 8 plus 1 is 9, or could be 1 is 147. 147, right? This is what we come after. We have been watching this. Now we are taking this concept, opening your ideas further, going into the volume of that same sequencing of numbers. All right, 2.14. I'm looking for 2.14 from here. 2.14 is right here. So you can just see these numbers, how they work, and it'll continue to work. This is going on for at least 20 years of backtest we have done. I can do this. It works. Can't do anything about it. So we have an opportunity here to look at few things differently. Two 2.56. This is what it is. Now this is a daily chart of ES. We forgot to tell you that market should be vibrating to these numbers forever. 4.2 is also, I'm looking at 4.28, which is same as 4.2 is the volume numbers. All right, and then you can put some oscillations here, right? We have a lot of oscillations. So I hope that understanding the square through the lens of squaring 58 sequences. Remember, sequences means not 158. I'm using lots of 58 behind the scenes, and lots of 29. I'm doing some behind the scene mathematics, right? That's what we do as quants, and we are building some phenomena here, which basically is repeatable, but the laws, the core, the framework is right here of 58. All right, my friends and traders, hopefully this will give you some insights to get to your research on volume and squaring. Thank you so much.